Hello, 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 and welcome to day 16. Day 16. Wow. Yes, we're more than halfway through. I can't believe I've been doing this for 16 days straight. Okay, just saying. But I have been having fun. I have been having fun. So if you are watching the replay, please hit hashtag replay. Let me know you're here so I can give you a little love. All right. Today, we're going to be talking increasing, of course. The whole month is about how to receive more love, how to increase your capacity to receive more love, which is going to give you a greater ability to share more love, give more love. I think we could all agree that the world needs more love. The world needs more love. There's a lot of negativity, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of, I don't have to tell you, you guys know. And the question is love really a cure? Is it realistic? Is it realistic? Can love really make this a better place? Can it? You know, if you come when you come on, say hi. Love to say hi to you back. Yeah, so those are all questions that we're kind of keeping in the air. How has love, a focus, an increased awareness of love, greater receiving of love, been helping you? Is it been helping you in your relationships? Is it been helping you? Hey, honey, I'm glad you're here. Has it been helping you in your relationships? And Jean, just chime in anytime any of these questions, right? Yeah. Has love helped you a greater awareness, a greater ability to receive, capacity to receive, feeling more favored? Is it helping you flow in this world, operate in this world at a higher level? Think about that. And please put in the comments if that is the case for you, if it has or if it hasn't. All right? If it hasn't, that's okay. There's no right or wrong answer here, but I would love to know what you're thinking. We'll start at 5 minutes of and 5 minutes in. So, a couple more minutes here. um, so, in the past, what we actually talked about, we've been on favor this week. And what is favor? Favor is a gift from God. Favor is a state of being. Favor means approval, that you are approved of, right? It has a lot of other meanings as well. Today, we're going to go into a few more meanings about it. But over the past few days, we've been talking about how favor means approving consideration and how we all like approval. I think love almost causes us to receive. Tell me more about that, honey. Love causes us to receive. All right. How does that work for you? So, yeah, we've been mostly talking about how in Old Testament times, people would say, if I have your favor, if I have favor in your sight, and then there would usually be some kind of request afterwards. And there was an assumption that if I have favor in your sight and you have the ability to help me, then my request to you would be answered positively. All right. You didn't usually go to somebody say, if I have favor in your sight and they have the ability to do something to help you, they're going to say no. All right. You don't think that they're going to say no. You have an expectation that if you have favor in their sight, that the answer is going to be yes. This is the same with God. We do have favor in his sight. We do. Since we have favor in his sight, we can then make certain requests and have expectation that our request will be fulfilled. Remember, the promises of God are always yes and amen. So whenever we ask for something that's in line with the promises of God, which of course it would behoove you to know what those are, right? So you can have the confidence that you need to ask. And if we believe, then we can receive. Good morning, Neil. Working overtime on your day off. All right, well, rack in those big bucks, buddy. Jean says, a heart is open when love takes over. That's right. That's right. Love can take us over and then our heart opens up, and then we have a greater ability to connect with each other on this planet, don't we? Yeah. I think one of the well, I won't get into that right now. Okay, so we're going to get started right now. I've been kind of blabbing away here, but the very first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to share uh, a, a comment that Trish DeStefano, who comes to these calls a lot, mostly she works, so she hits the replay oftentimes. But one of the things that she said that I'd like to share with you is, with her permission, well, she made it public anyway. She said, "Today I declare being finished with letting people and circumstances steal my worth." Now, at the beginning of this series, one of the things that Trish had confessed to the group was that she struggles with not feeling worthy, not feeling worthy. And she could probably go and tell you all the reasons why she doesn't feel worthy. But through the course of the past couple of weeks, this is what she says: "Today I declare being finished. I'm finished with letting people and circumstances steal my worth." Well, the truth of the matter is, nobody can steal your worth. Nobody ever, ever, ever. But in our minds, it can feel that way, right? So she's putting her stake in the ground here. So she was explaining to an upset to tears staff member that this job isn't her worth, and neither are her numbers, the numbers. Her job is not her worth, and neither are the numbers. She is a hard worker, and no one's opinion changes that. It felt great encouraging her and opened my eyes to how I'm spoken over, unvalidated, dismissed, and questioned. And all that does is confirm that other person's problem. And thankfully, I don't have it because I don't do that to people. Okay? So Trish is taking this, and she made a decision that she's not going to let other people steal her worth. But in turn, she was able to, when she understood that her worth is secure, her worth in God is set. She has favor with God, so nobody can take that away from her. And in her position, she has the opportunity to encourage, to correct, to steward the people, her employees, her team, right? So she took what it is that she's feeling about herself and her worth, and now she's able to encourage her employee with this encouragement. And it felt good to her. You see the spillover effect. It's wonderful. That's part of how we put more love into the world. We embrace it for ourselves, and then we spill it out onto other people. And if you're in a position of leadership, this is like powerful. You can actually change a person's life by you appropriating the love and the favor and then sharing it with them. Yeah. So good job, Trish. One other thing about Trish is that she went to my women's retreat last year, and actually, yeah, it was in 2021. We went to Hawaii and on a skydiving retreat, and Trish got in the plane and she jumped out because her word for the year was courage. And so she's been working on opening her heart. She's been working on her worth and her value. She takes it seriously and she sees how it's affecting every area of her life, right? Now, some things aren't changing yet, but they will. They will. I promise you. I promise you. Okay, so today I wanted to, oh, shoot, I don't have it here. Well, there is a verse in in Ephesians, where it talks about how we are accepted in the beloved. We are accepted in the beloved. Well, the word accepted in the Greek actually means approved of. It means that we are highly favored. It means that we have been imbued with special honor and privilege, right? So that was the same word Keratou is the Greek for accepted, and that's the same word that was used when the angel was saying to Mary, "You are highly favored." So that's why the other day I was saying to you how we have the same standing with God as Mary did, because we have the word keratou applied to us, which is highly favored, which is blessed and honored with special blessings. Have you ever thought about God honoring you? That's a biggie. Have you ever thought about God honoring you? Right? Have you ever thought about God appreciating you? Right? Just for who you are, as his masterpiece. Right? So today, one of the things I wanted you to think about is you honoring yourself. If God honors you, if God appreciates you, if God favors you, can you not favor yourself? What would happen? And anybody on the line here right now, on the line, that sounds so old fashioned. Anybody on this call, on the broadcast here, when you think about honoring yourself, when you think about appreciating yourself and loving yourself as God does, thanking yourself, what comes to mind for you? How do you think that would work? How do you think that could change something for you? How do you think it would affect your relationships with others? And if you're watching the replay, I would love to hear your response to that. And of course, when you're watching the replay, you get a little bit of time. You get a little bit of time to digest some of this, don't you? I know that's why some people like to watch the replays instead. But yeah, while you're thinking about that, I wanted to share with you a memory when I was thinking about all this favor years ago, and it's kind of come up now and then since then. I was favored by my grandfather, very much so. And I could see it in his eyes. Whenever he looked at me with eyes of love. He looked at me with delight. There was never any scorning in his face. I never felt like I could do wrong with him. And I remember that late at night, because I spent a lot of nights over their house. We had a lot of sleepovers at my grandparents'. And when I would go to bed at night, sometimes I'd wake up, oh, I don't know, maybe 11 or 12 at night or something. And my grandfather was kneeling on the floor and he's just staring at me while I slept. And it wasn't creepy and it wasn't scary. It was nothing like that. It was very reassuring. It was very reassuring because I could see in his eyes how much he loved me. And then he'd say, kiss me on the forehead. He'd say goodnight and he'd say, I just love you so much. Now, the negative side of that was because I knew he favored me and he didn't favor everybody. In fact, he was kind of a scoundrel with a lot of people and very difficult for a lot of people. Um, that feels more like favoritism, right? And favoritism is kind of the ugly cousin, as I said, to favor, because some person gets favored and another person doesn't. That would make me feel guilty. You know, as much as I enjoyed being favored by my grandfather, I didn't enjoy that he didn't favor everybody and he wasn't nice to everybody, you know? So I want favor for everyone. And that's why I love God's favor, because God has favor for everyone. It isn't just for a certain class of people. So open your hearts to being favored. Favor yourself as well. Appreciate yourself. Appreciate who you are, who God made you to be. Okay? So let's see. Some of you have written some responses. Neil says, I feel like I have an internal core barrier that won't let that soak in. Good awareness, Neil. Good awareness. That's why I ask some of these questions sometimes, because sometimes we're not even aware that we don't feel this way about ourselves. So, Neil, I would ask you, if you were to appreciate yourself, what do you think would happen? Because there's usually some kind of negative If I do, then it means this. It means this about me, or it means this consequence, or maybe I won't try as hard in life or something. Take the sentence and say, if I were to truly appreciate myself, then, and fill in the blank. Okay? You might not be able to do it at this moment if you're distracted and you're at work. But Neil, you might want to take that later on and then you can share that, okay? Clara says self care is what comes to me. Yes, appreciating yourself is a very important piece to caring for yourself, right? Caring for yourself. Um, Self care sometimes though can mean like I'm going to give myself a bubble bath, or I'm going to get a massage, or I'm going to just take some time off. And all of it is wonderful. All of that is wonderful. But we can do those things and still not feel the sense of appreciation for ourselves. So I would have you guys journal and say your name. Clara, that's Clara, you writing this to yourself. Clara, I really appreciate you because. And see what comes up. Neil, I really appreciate you because. And my hubby, Jean, I really appreciate you, Jean, because, right? Jean says, I think being aware of and receiving favor is a form of honoring myself. Yes, it is. God has honored you with favor. God has honored you with blessings, with abundance, right? It's ours for the taking. It's ours for the taking. So then when we receive what he has for us, that is a form of honoring ourselves. Neil says, I might feel like I could settle comfortably into self-contentment and stop striving to do better. Okay, so would you say is settling comfortably into self-contentment, is that a good thing to you? Is stop striving to do better a good thing to you, or is that not a good thing to you? Okay? Because I see the word settle comfortably into self contentment and stop striving. So appreciating yourself could then mean honoring yourself, appreciating yourself could mean you'll eventually stop striving. So not appreciating yourself, not feeling even happy about yourself is like the motivation, Neil, to keep striving to do better? Would you say that that's the connection? I think that's a strong connection for most people, actually. So, what do you say to that? If I actually honor myself, appreciate myself, like myself, favor myself, love myself, then I won't do as well. Then I'll stop striving. I'll stop striving. Okay, that's what you're saying. Yeah. Um, yeah, there is a belief in our culture that uh, I need to not rest on my laurels. Otherwise, I won't do as well. I won't be as successful. I won't strive for better, right? But let me ask you this question. What if we switch the paradigm a little bit? What if we actually decided that the paradigm is this? Because I have favor, because I appreciate myself, because I am love and I'm full of love. And it's my desire to make the world a better place by extending that to others. That's my motivation. So the striving isn't about me doing better. There is no striving. It's more an overflow. It's an allowing. It's allowing who I am and the love I feel for myself, and the love I feel from God, and the love I feel from others to actually just spill out. And I am thus making the world a better place. because of the love that I am expressing and extending that's already there. What does that feel like? What does that feel like? Now, Neil, because you've mentioned that you come from an upbringing where there was a lot of criticism, never feeling good enough, and even some physical harm, right? So it's kind of beaten into you that you're not good enough and that you got to keep trying, right? Yeah, so come back, Neil, afterwards and kind of rewatch this again. When we have been trained in actually a very harsh way to keep striving, to keep trying to be better, to keep trying to get that approval, right? It's very hard for us to let that go. It's very hard for us to have a different paradigm. It's very hard for us to receive and to accept love with no conditions. Yeah, with no conditions. So, if you were to receive love with no conditions, that all the conditions have already been met, okay? You'll receive God's love with no conditions because all the conditions have already been met. You're already deemed worthy. You're already deemed worthy. What would that do for your life? Jean says it seems like honoring yourself can energize our striving. Yes. So you're saying, Jean, that striving's not a bad thing. Okay? And it doesn't have to be. But when striving turns into a lot of stress, then it can be. If striving is a bettering, if striving is that a working hard at putting out your efforts and you're doing it with joy and you're doing it with purpose and you're doing it with an overflow of love, yeah, honoring yourself can definitely energize that. Hmm. But what would unconditional love, if you believed that you were loved and you had love and you received love without any condition, what could that do for you? What do you notice as an objection to that? Mhm. So if you're watching the replay, consider that. Love to know what you think about that, right? But I want to leave you with this thought today. Put your hand on your heart and just say to yourself, thank you. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for whatever level of progress you have made and achieved thus far. Thank you for being in this time and place. Thank you that you desire to be closely connected with God. Thank you for your desire to let love flow. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for all you are. I love you. I love you. And I would even dare say, spend some time being specific. What is it you love about yourself? What is it you're grateful for? And what do you appreciate? All right? Receive the love, give love to yourself, express it, and extend it. And let me know if anything changes, because it should. All right? That's the promise. Okay, peeps. Thank you for being on. I will see you tomorrow and the next day and the next day. All right. And I love those of you who are watching the replay. Thank you for those who show up live. But those of you who are on the replay, I thank you for coming and for your comments and for your likes and your reactions, right? Oh, Clara says the comment, I appreciate myself, really made me cry. Oh, I have to stay on another minute longer. Tell me about that, Clara. What touched you? It's beautiful. Clara's a beautiful artist. And tomorrow, I have a new painting from Clara. And tomorrow I will reveal it. I just picked it up today. It's still in the wrapper, but yeah. Can't see it right now, but over on that side of the wall, I have a beautiful painting that I've been carrying around for some years now from Clara. She's a beautiful artist. I think it's important to love myself more. Yes, I knew what you meant. Good. Good. It is important. It's important for all of us. So thank you for being on, everybody. And thank you for coming to the replay. Love to you all. Love, love, love.